But through all of that, you're volunteering, you don't have any problems, you're fine, everything's okay.
Right.
But you get to know Mighty Oaks, you start to work with us, you help us in a lot of different things, from technology standpoint, others. And then eventually you came to a session.
Yeah. I came to a session because my son was leaning on me quite a bit. My son is a Navy veteran, 9-year Navy veteran, and spent a great deal of time in Iraq.
Yeah.
With a drug dog. He and his dog would go find drug caches in heavily combat type areas. I really think that he found all the drug caches for Saddam Hussein, because he and his dog would vert rep from Kuwait, which is only about 5 miles north of where I was at, into Iraq and the idea is Al Qaeda was financing their operations through heroin. Well, you shut down the heroin supply, you shut down their supply.
Sure. You shut down the money, right?
And I think that impacted quite a lot. And he and his dog had taken a tumble. He blew out both of his knees and has a little bit of TBS, traumatic brain injury, as a result of that injury. And started through the VA system, which is I think that's probably a discussion for a whole, that's probably 2-hour discussion for another time. But the result of it is he said, he knew about my anger problems, which had not really subsided. And he says, "Dad, you need to get evaluated." Well, I don't have any problems. Dad, get evaluated. And I did. I got evaluated.
Yeah.
And I says, I thought I had taken care of everything through the group counseling, through alcohol treatment, and a lot of counseling. I'm one that if I've got a problem, I need to go out and search for an answer. And I can't do that on my own. I can't develop that on my own. I've got to find intervention because of the intervention that I had for alcohol treatment. But as a result of that, I says, I think I walked into your office and I says, "Jeremy, I think I need to go." And he says, I think he said something
I've been
like,
telling you that for like 3 years.
Yeah, what have you been waiting for? So I asked my boss, I says, I need some time off. I need a week off.
Yeah.
And it was a discovery, a huge discovery, and hardly any of it was related to time in the Marine Corps, other than with the major up at 4th Lad Battalion and some of the other things that happened. But most of it was really related to my time on law enforcement. I almost got fired from the police department because I lied to them about an incident. If I just would have told the truth, it would have been
sure.
But it's things like that, and 3 marriages that I needed more change.
Yeah.
And that's where I realized that it doesn't matter how old you are, or where you come from, or who you are. Everybody can use change and discovery.
Yeah. And that's where I think faith became personal to you.
Very personal.
Yeah. Why is that so important in the process of, I'd say, you say change, I would say transformation. I mean, it's really, it's a complete turning. Why is faith the piece that unlocks that?
Well, I've been through the VA's post-traumatic stress disorder, as they call it, sessions, and I think that's all very good stuff, but it's secular in nature. And I've learned through another program that I've been through with my local church here. I went through 8 months of training to learn how to become a biblical counselor.
Yeah.
And one of the things that, I'm very impacted by things that I hear. The leader of that, the pastor that led that training and that education, said that you are God's ambassador here. for your children, for anybody else that you're associated with.
Yeah.
And I already knew that my purpose in life and here is to serve.
Yeah.
Well, and that's personal. That has become very personal, as you can tell, that I serve a God.
Yeah.
And if I don't give back, if I don't help people with my experiences, how I've been able to transform and heal and learn, then I'm not doing God's work. And, I think that's what God intended.
Yeah.
With his apostles. It's not that I want you to tell people my story, because my story helps transform people.
Yeah.
And the other part of Christian counseling program is that secular counseling and psychology deals with the body and the mind. We need to deal with the soul, which is probably the crucial and most prominent missing part in transforming somebody's life. You've got to hit body, mind, and soul.
Yeah.
And the soul part is where we make a difference at Mighty Oaks.
Yep. Yeah, without a connection to our Creator, we're never going to really be able to figure out how to move forward. We have to know from whence we came and the purpose for which we were created. And until we understand that, we're going to have a very, very difficult time, navigating life. And the transparency part of that is so critical, which is something that I think secular counseling, and I'm certainly not against secular counseling. I think there's a lot of good tools that can be given in secular counseling.
Absolutely.
But I think one of the things it lacks is, here's my story,
right?
And here's how I want to use that story to help you move forward.
Yeah.
And what we do and what you do and what you're talking about there is exactly that. I have been where you've been. I struggle the way that you struggle.
Yep.
But God has given me the ability to move forward, and that's what I want to share with you.
Yeah. Yeah, and I even shared that with the VA programs. They have what they call a cognitive processing therapy, which actually is very good, and it's some great tools to help you stop,
right,
look, and listen,
right.
And I think they do. I think they're learning their lessons by that. But I had a discussion with them. I says, we need to understand the soul, and it doesn't matter what walk of life that you come from.
Right.
If you believe that there is a God Almighty that has your back.
Yeah.
And that is going to pick you up no matter where you're at, what you've done, or what you have done. And that includes anybody in prison as well. Yeah. Is if you don't reach out and grab hold of that and embrace it, you can't move forward.
That's right.
You're stuck.
Yeah.
You're just stuck in a morass that you cannot climb out of with any other methodology than if you take care of that soul. And my soul is a work in progress.
Sure. Do you feel like the military is beginning to understand that? Or is that such a foreign concept to them that it's going to continue to take outside organizations like ours to speak to that piece?
We cannot give up on that. If we give up on it, we fail. Do I think that they'll understand it? I think some will understand it, but when you have the dialogue that is going on in our government institutions that try to achieve equality when we already have equality.
Right. Sure.
The dialogue is going to make that extremely difficult.
We're focused on the wrong target.
That's right. Yeah.